Okay, Farhang is now the host, and I will monitor.
Thank you. Okay. So, do you guys need like a short break, or shall we keep going? Keep going.
I'll monitor
Okay,
the
cool.
chat and see what the you got.
So
Yeah,
let me see.
you got a
if
week
I
good,
can
so
have,
that means keep going.
Yeah, let me see if I can have the chat box open. Yes. Okay. So, we've already been over this one. So, about the days and times of the lab, your two lab sections will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9:30 until 10:50 according to the schedule. But since we start our lab soon after Dr. Cleveland's lectures, we are not going to create a separate Zoom meeting link, and we're going to use the same setup and connect the lab section and the lecture sections together. I am going to have virtual office hours on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 to 10 a.m. But feel free to email me 24/7 whenever you're working with something. Just email me. There might be a chance that I wouldn't answer right away, but I will answer ASAP. So don't feel that you are obligated to only contact me during two time frames. My objectives today are first to teach you how to pronounce my name, and then we're going to talk about the steps that you need to take to install the Anaconda, how to set up your CoCalc account, and start doing some very basic things with CoCalc, which will end up being your first assignment that you will need to submit. So the name is Farhang. After 4 years, I've come to this realization that the easier way to remember it is just to think of far and hang. So putting them together, you will have my name. Now let's start with Anaconda, which people call the world's most popular data science platform. Some of the questions that I was reading in the chat box may have already been answered by Dr. Cleveland, but I'm going to do a short explanation on it. Anaconda is not Python. Anaconda is actually an environment for developing Python and R projects. So it's not only Python. Once you install Anaconda, it gives you an interface with several different applications, some of them based on Python, some of them based on R. One of those applications is a Jupyter notebook that we will discuss further. And it has been kind of optimized for data science, which is why we're going to use it even more for this class. So if you, again, reminder, please do not attempt to take these steps as we are talking. This session is being recorded by Dr. Cleveland, and he will upload the videos, and you can take these steps after the lab, because this is going to be time consuming. So if you go to anaconda.com, you will see something like this, and then if you click on products, on the drop down list you will choose individual edition. That's what you will need, and that will automatically take you below the same page, and you will get to choose the version that is right for your computer. So if you are a Windows user, you will install the Windows version. If you are a Mac user, I am sorry for you, but you can use these versions. I read that someone was a little concerned about using a Mac. As far as I know, and I saw on Dr. Cleveland's side, it is possible. It just might be a little different from the experience of a Windows user. Once you download this, as you see, you can see how big the files are. This may take a while depending on your internet connection. You just have to wait, or even better, go play with your console or something for half an hour and come back. Then you will get to install it on your computer. It is going to need almost 3 gigabytes of free space. A few hints: install it in a separate folder of its own. Do not mix it with your other folders. And it is preferred that you install it on a drive with lots of free memory, because you may end up using it more than just for this semester. And again, this will take a while, so be patient with it. Once you install Anaconda, the Anaconda Navigator will have an interface like this. So as I told you before, you can see a few different applications here. You will have the Jupyter Lab, the Jupyter Notebook, Orange 3, RStudio, Spider, and they all have different applications. They serve different purposes. And if you know which application you want, you don't even have to run the Anaconda Navigator. You can just go and run, for example, Jupyter Notebook separately. We will talk about these applications more as we go on, but we will. Your download took 3 minutes. Okay, yeah, then you're probably using a very good internet connection. Good for you. You just made me feel bad. So, if you notice, these applications, you can see them in the Home tab. If you click on the Environment tab, this is where you will get to install, remove. Brandon Darby entered the waiting room. Come in. And update your packages. Don't sweat it now. This is not something to be concerned with right now. But when you use these programming tools like Python or R, there are packages that will give you specific functions that you will use for your specific goals. And for some of them, you will need to install packages. For some of them, you need to update some packages. We will get to that later. Just know that the Anaconda Navigator is the place to do that. Then on the Learning tab, you will have access to different useful modules that you can use. If you have some free time, feel free to go and look at these. My personal experience, they are pretty good. Okay, so this will be the Anaconda. Do you have any questions about Anaconda at this point? No? All good? You don't feel confused? Cool. So now, do we download it now? Again, I wouldn't recommend it. You can start downloading and installing it right after the lab session. And if you have any problems with the procedure, you can email me, and I will come to your help. So we have Anaconda to use Jupyter Notebook. You are using Anaconda to run things from your computer. So you can use Jupyter Notebook, but it will be running locally, which means that it is using your hard drive and your own folders on your hard drive to read your file, read your data, read your script, and everything. We have basically 2 ways for doing stuff, and we're going both of them for this course. One of them is do stuff locally from your own computers, which we'll do through Anaconda. The other one is to use cloud services. Using a cloud service basically means that you are using another computer which is somewhere else in the world. You will upload your stuff on that computer, and you will run your programs from that computer. There are certain benefits to using both of them. that we will discuss in future sessions. But just know that the different approaches that we are taking with CoCalc and Anaconda is that Anaconda is local and CoCalc is online and on cloud. Any other questions about Anaconda? All good? Okay, now I want you to go to CoCalc.com. And I am going to go to CoCalc.com myself. It may take a while, not for those of you with high-speed connections, but for us, the normal folk. And this is probably the first look of the website that you can see. Am I right?
Yeah, that's what the graphic would look like if it had embedded.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. So if you click on Run CoCalc Now, it will take you to something like this. Right? Okay. This is where, no. Okay, Lance, what are you seeing?
Yeah, Lance and Ethan are, they type no, so either it says
select a kernel. Okay, if it says select a kernel,
wait.
Choose Python. Choose Python. I think it reads Python 3. Okay, cool. Now I want you to go and click on this green button that says sign up now. And it will bring you to a page similar to this. Go with Python 3 system-wide.
Python 3 system.
So this sign-up page is where we will create our accounts. Yes, that is okay. Just go with sign up. Don't worry about it. Still having trouble. Ethan, what is going wrong? Ethan? Still on select a kernel. Oh, if you already have an account, then that's okay, because we are in the phase that we are creating an account. Python 3 is the one that you should have clicked. That's great.
You can switch kernels, Jacob, so don't worry about accidentally choosing 3 Anaconda.
Exactly. Okay, so
yeah, it's always going to have a warning bar suggesting you to sign up and spend money. Once you get an account, just stick with the free stuff and ignore the spend. Their pricing structure is actually pretty steep for this particular service. It was shocking to me when I multiplied by 12 what the monthly rate was. It's like, I can buy a server for that.
And as a general safe rule for student life, always stick with the free stuff. Yeah. We don't want to pay. So do we use our school email? Yes, you can. That is actually recommended. Something to point out, as you can see, I'm using this Microsoft Edge. And that is because I already have an account on my Chrome. Otherwise, I would never choose Microsoft Edge over Chrome. So now you can click on I agree to the terms of service, and go ahead, type in your first name and your last name, and create an account.
Just talking out loud, I actually would use my school account, because if you look at what it says, your Texas Tech school account will filter a lot of those emails. They'll just go straight to spam, and you won't have to deal with them.
Even better.
And the fact that you're all asking those questions is good, because it looks like nobody tried along the bottom to use their Facebook or GitHub credentials.
Yeah. Then you will just give in your email address. I'm going to go with my Gmail because I already have used my school email. And you are going to choose a password. Please choose something that you are making a note of, and do not lose it. Personal experience, that has happened a lot. So, once you do that, it will send an email to your mailbox. Let me see, I have my mailbox over here. You will just verify your email and your account through that. Actually, in the fourth line of that email, it says, please click here to verify your email address. You just click on there, and you will be good to go. If you refresh that page, you will see that under your account tab, email verification, it says a status verified. Are we good on that?
Yeah, we'll wait a little bit of time to be sure everyone that's trying can stay caught up, because the account verification is the slowest step. So we've got a lot of got it's. We'll wait another minute. So if you got it, go ahead and post to the chat like you're all doing. Well, this is
mine said my email is already verified. So you have probably already created an account. You can use that to sign in.
If you remember the password. Okay, that looks like pretty good success. It seems like everyone is succeeding.
I've never created one. Okay, then you are probably hacked, and your hacker is into programming. But don't worry about it. You can either use another email, or actually something that you can try is go to the sign-in page, put in your email, and say, I forgot my password, and see what happens. Already verified. Okay, so once you've done that, you can click on this projects button on the top left corner of your screen, and it will bring you to a page like this with a rather wide green band on top. Once you get there, what does mean? Is there a problem? Okay. Don't worry about the kernel, because if it's not in the right setting, we can always change it. Cool cap, by the way, Ben.
Go ahead and do a hello world to give them time to catch up, as well as show how to make a new project.
Okay, so let's click on create new project and say lab August 25th. Then you will click on create project, give it a few seconds.
Yeah, and it's got 91 new concurrent connections in the last 3 minutes, so it might be a bit slow.
Yeah, but not for the elite group with high-speed internet connections. You are good to go. So here it is asking us to create or upload files. So for example, let's say I have an image that I want to upload to this project. You can just, okay, I'm going to show you the folder that I used to create my slides. And I have a picture of an anaconda in JPEG format. I am going to just drop it here. And with this green check, you will see that it is already uploaded. Or if you have, you probably do not, but in case you have an already set up notebook, you can just click and drop and you will get that. And once you upload everything that you want, you can actually give it a better name. I'm gonna call it lab. Why are we uploading things? Okay, you do not have a very good reason for uploading things right now, but let's say that you are creating a notebook, you're creating a homework, and you want to add an image to it, similar to what Dr. Cleveland was explaining. So you have done the screen capture and you want to add that to your notebook. Then you will simply go take your screen capture and upload it to your folder. That is the very important part. You need that file to be in the folder that you are working in. And then in the script we are going to call on that, which we will do later. Yes, this is an example, all of it. So, as you can see, if you scroll down, you will see that whatever I have uploaded is here. This is my Anaconda JPEG file, and this is the notebook that I uploaded, and the date I last modified them and everything. So, are we good? Do you have any questions at this point? This was for uploading. I actually can come here and click on Jupyter Notebook and open a new notebook. So if you do not have anything that you want to upload at this point, you can just go and create a new Jupyter Notebook. This is the question that some of you had answered in the previous step. It is asking for a kernel, and you can choose Python 3 system-wide. And it will give you a rather simple interface, as you can see here. Are we all good at this point? This is a very important step to be in. No. Okay, Esteban, what is going wrong? I missed how you created a notebook. Okay, you can go to Files. Can you see this? And guys, if you are working on a problem with me, feel free to unmute your mics and talk, because that will be much faster.
Yeah, I'll chime in because I'm reading and trying to respond also. So what Farhang has done up to this point, he's in CoCalc in his workspace, and he created a folder called Lab August 25th. That step's important because that way you can keep all your labs separated. Then in the folder or the directory Lab August 25th, he uploaded a picture, the Anaconda JPEG. He uploaded a copy of a notebook, which is the same one that's on the Blackboard site, or really close to it, called Lab 0 using CoCalc. And then he created from scratch a notebook named 2020-0825-091940 as another way. So at this point, if you're caught up, you should have a directory with something in it, maybe a created file, maybe an uploaded file. And at that point, just sit there and cool your heels for a second. If you're not caught up, why don't you go ahead and destroy the 2020 file and then recreate it?
Yeah, so I'm going to delete this. And then this will be my file with the things that I uploaded. If you haven't uploaded anything, this list will be empty for you. And that is completely okay.
So I just created I named the Anaconda with a JPEG, right? That's all I did was before.
How did you create that? Did you upload it?
I just clicked File, and then after that, I think I selected New, and then Jupyter Notebook.
Okay, so let me go over that a step again. So if you want to create a new Jupyter Notebook, you can just come to this drop-down list and select a new Jupyter Notebook. And you will give it a name. Definitely do not go with the default one, because that will be odd. You can go with My First Notebook. And then click on Create. So once you do that, it will ask for the kernel that you want to use and different categories. Do not sweat about those. Just click on Python 3 system-wide. And then you will be here. This is the inside of your new file, which I named My First Notebook. Tina, did you manage to create this?
Yeah, I think she's on top of it because she figured out that if it's empty, it tells you it's empty and it asks you to create a file.
Wonderful. Okay, now that you are here, there are a few things that you need to know. So first of all, this can be really just a notebook. But the more time you spend with it, the more you realize that this is a very, very cool notebook. So we can just start writing in it. We can say, and whenever you write something in a box like this, you will get to run it by clicking on this bottom here that says Run Cells and Select Below.
And
it is giving me an error. The reason for that is that we have different classes for the lines that we write. If you click here, you will see that we have code, we have markdown, and we have raw. When you are running commands and functions that are defined within the Python language, you will use code. That is basically you communicating with the Python, and you need to use the Python language for that. But whenever you are just writing in plain English, you're adding comments or photos or images and everything, you will go with a markdown. And if you go with a markdown, when you run it, it will just read like a simple text. If I click on it again, it will turn back to the cell it was. Now, if I add a little hashtag here, let's see what happens.
Need a Nothing. Space. Hashtag space.
Yeah, thank you. It turns blue, and if you run it, it will be like a heading, like a title. And if you use 2 hashtags, it will be like a subheading. So, I'm going to remove this because you probably don't need my name on the top of your notebook. But we can give it a more formal look. So let's go with Laboratory 0. And we are going to set up your computing environment. If I run it, you will see something like this. Are we good? Yes. Dr. Cleveland just added a very interesting hint to the chat box that you can Google Markdown formatting, and you will get many of these interesting things that you can do with your Markdown and give it like different formattings. Cody says that she has created her first notebook, but whenever she clicks on it, the website crashes.
Cody, change your name to Vladimir Putin, see if it works, because they don't crash his stuff. I'm teasing.
Audrey, are you using the Markdown class for your cell? Because if it's in code or something else,
it's just a comment statement.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Okay, good.
So, you can use one cell as long as you're doing just writing and no coding. But if your text is part text, part code, part text, part code, you will need different cells because you can only define one class for each cell. Clicking back on this, let's do some more writing. The objective of this lab
Cool.
This will be an example of a simple markdown cell. with 3 different types of text in it. So Lance, did you manage to get rid of that issue that you were having? Okay, great.
I had a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so when we create the notebook, what do we run it in Jupyter?
Yes.
And as far as the markdown formatting, you said where do?
So when you see your notebook for the first time, you have a cell like this, correct?
Yes.
So here you can define its class to be code, markdown, or raw. If you are simply writing, you can go with markdown.
All right, I got it.
Cool. Good question. Are there hotkeys that I could use to do things like run the program, add cells, change the type of cells, etc.? Let's do what I always do when I have a question.
The only ones I know
Google.
that my fingers know to run a cell is Shift Enter, and that'll run it, and then go to the next cell. And then Escape Enter will turn a cell into editing mode, and those are the only 2 hotkeys that I've ever figured out. But I'm sure there's more. And Dane figured it out. The little keyboard icon has all the hotkeys. Oh, I can't click on it. This is your desktop.
So I am trying to Google and see what I can find.
Cody, absolutely do not pay them for a crashing website. Just reconnect again. I'm sorry that you're the one experiencing the poor service. We picked this because you don't have to pay.
Okay, so if you click on this little plus sign here, it will create another cell for you. And again, you will get to select whether you want it to be a code, a markdown, or a raw cell. I'm going to go with markdown again, and let's do this. Exercise. One, Python online. Actually, because I have this script in front of me, let me copy this. Bring this here. Okay. Run this and run this. And I am going to copy these into the chat box so that you can easily run them and see how they look like.
Put an extra line feed after the first URL because it renders better.
Put
a line, force a line between them. Yeah, that'll render better.
There we go. So, what exactly are these? These are online interface that you can use to run Python. So let us click on one of them. So basically, you will see the Hello World program, the very famous example here. These are very, very simple, free online interfaces that you can use to run Python codes. And if you select these and click Run, on this side, on the right side of your screen, you will basically see the output of that script. Cruz, I will go back to the notebook. Do not worry about it. I'm just showing you one of these online versions. I will go back to the notebook very soon. So, just to give you an idea, this is a very simple one. And as a suggestion, depending on whether you're using Windows or Mac, you can get a screenshot of this and add it to your folder to be attached to your homework for the first time. If you're using Windows, you can go with the snipping tool. And if you're using Mac, I think the application is called Screen Capture.
Does Alt Print Screen still work on Windows?
Yeah, print. You can also go with print a screen, but if you're using two screens,
I think
that will get an entire picture of that. You need to cut it.
The Alt Print Screen used to print just the active window. It would capture just that. That was like Windows NT. It's a long time ago. A lot of you guys were just freshly born at that point. So,
if you're using print a screen is a button that you will find probably on the top side of your enter button, and it says PRTSC.
And that used to capture the entire screen.
Yeah,
I think it does as a bitmap, so that might be problematic. Windows plus print screen. Okay, thanks, Maximus. And does that Windows plus print screen get the active window only? I'll wait for him to answer. Interactive.
When I used print a screen yesterday, it took a shot of both of my screens.
Oh, so it does everything.
Yeah, everything.
Use that wisely.
Okay, so if you've done that, let's go back to the tab that we were working on, which was our notebook.
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
So, you know where you could put like run and on your page right there? On mine, it just has like a cube instead of like the run symbol.
Instead of this?
Yes, it has a cube.
Does it do the same thing?
So I click it and nothing happens.
A cube.
Like a pause, like a...
Did you select Python and Jupyter Notebook?
Yes, Jupyter Notebook, Python 3.
If you look up on to the interface up in sort of the right side upper corner, it should have CPU usage, memory, trusted, Python 3 system. It tells you what the active kernel is. Is yours showing Python 3 system, or does it say none?
Python 3 system.
Oh, that's weird. I think you can also run cells from the menu item called cell, which is just to the right of insert, to the left of kernel. Yeah, you can run cells from that. Now, if that doesn't work, something else is wrong.
I put run all or run cell?
Highlight your first cell, just put run cell, see what happens.
Yeah, if you click on one of your cells, then go to this tab and click run cells. It should run it for you.
Okay, now I got it.
Okay,
but for some reason the other little thing doesn't work.
It's free, and there's 91 of us using it right now, so that's about...
Thank you.
So,
okay, his extremely fast typing is actually cutting and pasting from a document.
exactly.
So don't feel that you have to be able to type that fast, because it's humanly impossible.
Okay. And Esteban, you are completely correct. Cody is still having troubles with her notebook.
I have. Let me get my backup plan set for her. Keep going, and I'll interact with Cody directly through the chat.
Rame, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, but go click on your cell, for example, like what I'm doing here. Just double click on it, and when it turned into something like this, make sure that the cell type is marked down. Can you do that? Brayden, you will have access to this notebook through your Blackboard, so you don't have to type it, even though I suggest that you do just as a practice. And Hunter, for making the text look big, you will go hashtag a space the rest of the text, similar to what I have here. Oh, then Rame, you probably will need to close your tab and log back into your account, because if you can't see any menus or anything, you're probably not seeing the full version of the website. Joseph, Anaconda runs locally, yes, and it has many similar features to CoCalc. So I would say yes, the biggest difference would be that CoCalc is running on a cloud and Anaconda is running locally. If I put A in where? I didn't got that, Azael. OZ, we will get to the part where you will add an image file to your notebook in a bit. So, shall we proceed? Is there any other questions? So, if you look at my second cell, my online Python compiler isn't running. What is it telling you, Brandon? No, I don't think that putting apostrophes in the text is going to cause you any trouble. Okay, so that could be a connection issue, and the many of us being on the server, be patient with it. But if it doesn't reconnect after a while, just let us know, and we may have to do something else. So, if you have everything typed in your notebook, I want you to open the first link, not from the chat box, but from your notebook. So make sure that you run that markdown cell, and then you click on the first link. It should open the programmese.com website for you. And Rami, you still can't see any menus, anything on top, so your page doesn't look anything like the one that I'm showing you right now? So, the rest of you, okay, no, it does not. But you mean CoCalc, right? So, yes, everything should be in Markdown. So far, we have created 2 cells, and both of them are Markdown cells. We are having a question, what is raw used for? Well, probably Dr. Cleveland's answer to this will be much more better, but to my knowledge, raw is generally used for something that you don't want to be modified, something like for LaTeX or for something like that of that sort. So with Markdown, you're trying to create a text vibe to it, like the text, the images, and everything. For codes, you want to run different functions and commands that Python or your kernel can communicate with. But for raw, you just want them to be unmodified and included in your notebook, but not modified. Other questions? What exactly do we have to do for the lab? Basically, what you are doing, we're working on a step-by-step approach. For each exercise, you will get a piece, and you will upload that as a PDF or as an HTML file to Blackboard. Okay, that is Dr. Cleveland. Okay, Rami says, like it's listing out the cells and cell types with numerical integers along the left side of the screen. I really don't know what that is, Rami. Can you take a screenshot and email it to me? Cruz says, when I click on the link to the Hello World, it takes me to the page but says 404. Hello World, do you mean the first link that we have here for Programmese?
Yeah, but it's
or are you
I figured it out.
Okay, cool. Is the lab instructions on Blackboard? Yes. Dr. Cleveland has already uploaded a notebook and some videos that you can use for today's lab. So, Grace, the link that you put here, when I click on it, it works for me. Is it next week?
The lab due dates are on the Blackboard server. I think I have this one due either Sunday or Monday. It's whatever date's on the server. And that's probably how it's going to be. Okay. I'm thinking that in subsequent weeks, everything will just be due on Wednesday. And that at least gives you one meeting time from when something's assigned and when something's due to ask questions. And I don't know if you can still hear me. I just had the black screen of nothingness. Okay, there we go.
Yes, we can all hear you. Okay, so for those of you who managed to open this through your notebook, I want you to go ahead and change this part in this script. So currently, the default script that you can see will print the sentence, "Hello world." If I want, I can just go in and instead of "Hello world," I just say, "I love dogs," and then run it. And as you see, it will print the sentence that I ordered on the right side of the screen. So I want you to go ahead, enter your own sentence or something like this, and once it showed you the outcome on the right side, get a screenshot of that. Oh, so Rami, it is the HTML version. HTML version of the code. Let's see. Let me Google it. Just while I'm still looking for Rami. Maria, you want to know how much should the image cover of what you just did? I think just the portion of the script on the left side and the sentence that you have printed out on the right side should be enough.
To you?
Nothing happens.
You sent it to you?
No. Just keep it for now. You will need to put all of them together, exercise 1, 2, and 3 together in a Jupyter notebook, and at the end you will convert that to a PDF and submit that PDF to Blackboard.
Got it.
Amelia, when is that? Is it in your notebook or in the online compiler? Maximus says it's super slow. Yes, it is, and it keeps refreshing the page on my end too. My Zoom connection is terrible. Can I email Farang to get an objective goal of this lab? I do not understand what the objective is. Kyle, you can communicate with me anytime that you want, but do not give up on Zoom minutes, and then it comes back. Amelia, it could be because of the slow connection and the online compiler. Just keep refreshing and give it more tries. Okay. Jackson, you just save your screenshot as a PNG file, and later I will tell you how to bring that into your notebook. No, you do not turn in the lab yet. That is only exercise 1. We have a few more to go with. So, Dr. Cleveland, we are having an issue with Rame's notebook because it is showing the HTML version to him, and it doesn't really make sense.
The actual notebook, or did he unintentionally grab the HTML version? Because at the Blackboard, there's...
No, I think this...
Or is he building it live? Like, let me get this...
Rame, can you please attach your screenshot to the chat box so that Dr. Cleveland can have a look at it?
And while we're waiting, Cody, so I sent you to my personal server. That'll give you the ability to follow along in the lab. If you open that hello world.ipynb file, you can work in that. Don't worry if you break it. I have it backed up, and that server will be fine. Okay, Rame, see if it'll let me see the picture. Oh, it's still uploading. Come on. Okay, cool.
Also, I just added the link of the video that Dr. Cleveland has made and explains the steps that we have already took. So if you don't feel comfortable with any part of that, you can just have another look at that video.
And to answer the question,
pasting it in the chat box as well.
The one question on what's the point of the lab is, the point of the lab is for y'all to demonstrate to us and to yourself that you can get something meaningful out of the computer. This is mostly just getting everybody on the same computation environment. So it's not supposed to be hard intellectually, but it might be hard in getting all the communications and stuff working right. So look at that screenshots here. Okay. So what I see in Rame's screenshot is actually that looks like a notebook to me, but it doesn't look like it's rendering in any kind of kernel. So Rame, if you go over to the right of your interface, over there by the word code, to the right of it, it should tell what the kernel is. It'll either say no kernel or Python 3 or something else. You you want to be sure that the kernel is Python 3 and see if that will render the notebook correctly. So you've got a notebook here. It looks like it somehow got switched into ASCII only. Oh, actually, it looks like you're in a shell. You're actually in a shell. So the numbers on the left is just giving you the line numbers in the file. So without Farhang, you understand what I'm saying? Maybe you could replicate that. See if you can shell print. Over there on the right hand of your interface where you have the word notebook.
The right side,
yeah,
where yes.
Pull down menu. See what
terminal?
happens if you pick terminal. Nope, that's not it. Go back to notebook. Let's try the raw JSON editor. Okay,
is that it?
Yeah, that's it. So Rami, what you need to do is do exactly what Farhang is doing and go back to notebook.
So you just come here to the right side where it says raw or whatever else that you can see there and click notebook or default.
And given where that's located on the screen, it seems like that'd be an easy mistake to make a lot. So everybody needs to be aware of that.
And Rami, just let us know if that solved your issue.
Cade, your question, are there going to be assignments as well as the labs? The labs are the assignments. At least that's how my sections will be set up unless there's a change. So you can safely assume that if you're doing the labs and turning them in, you are staying up with the class.
Okay, Rami says, when I click that drop-down menu, all I see is code and time travel and terminal, no notebook. Are you sure that initially you created a new Jupyter notebook? Because that could be part of the issue. Actually, I want you to go to your files and create a new Jupyter notebook from the top. So you just come to your files, you just go to new, and you click on Jupyter notebook. So if you do that, it will bring you to a page like this, and you will select Python 3, and it will give you something like this. So can you confirm that you can see this right now? Yes, great. Now you just start from the top. So you stay here. I'm going to go back to my notebook, and I want you to paste this. I'm going to add it to the chat box. Just paste this into your first cell and make sure that it is a markdown cell. Then tell me what happens. Kyla says, how do we know if this Zoom meeting is already posted?
It's not. It's going to take me 2 hours to render it when it's done and probably 3 hours to upload it. So it won't be there till later this afternoon or this evening. See, how will you know if it's posted? I'll put a link into the Blackboard site once it's pushed up to a server. So
okay.
Either to you
Rami's, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
or to media link. I'll probably put it to engineering media link first and then to YouTube, so that I make efficient use of the network, because I can go from the school straight to YouTube a lot faster than from my house.
Okay, Rame, you said that you've done that. If you run that cell, do you see something similar to what I have? Okay, wonderful. Now, go ahead and paste this into another cell. So I want you to come click on this plus sign here. That will give you a new cell, and then copy what I have put in the chat box, paste it in there, and run that again. Okay, now when you run that, you will see these two links. I want you to click on the first one. It will open a Python online compiler for you with the Hello World built in. I want you to change this to something else like I love dogs, and then run it. Once you get the output of your script on the right side of the screen, you will get a screenshot or a screen capture of that and save it as a PNG file for later. Okay? Just tell me when you're done so that we can proceed with the rest of the lab session. Wonderful. Great. Okay. So that a screenshot that you have with your own sentence, that will be what you need for exercise 1. For exercise 2, you basically don't have to do anything new because you have already done it. You have created an account and you have it up and running for your CoCalc. However, if you look at the Jupyter notebook that Dr. Cleveland has made, he has something like this. In the middle. This is how you ask Jupyter Notebook to add an image to your notebook. This will be the name of your file and the formatting, and this setup is what you need to type behind it. But if I run it right now, it will not work. Let's see. The reason that it will not work is that it will go and look in my working directory, in my folder, to find an image that is called CoCalc.png. And since I do not have that, it will not work. What do we do? Actually, I want you to look into your browser and go to CoCalc.com. You should see something like this. Then I want you to get a screenshot of that. I'm going to use a snipping tool because I'm on my Windows machine. I'm going to save this screenshot and I'm going to name it CoCalc and I'm going to save it as PNG. Okay, so far so good? Yes, I can do that. This is the entire text. Yeah, go on.
I think the second C has to be capitalized now.
Yes, that was a very good catch, but I can edit mine later.
Oh, okay.
So I will go to Files. You remember this list, right? And I will just drag the screenshot that I made into here. Pretty fast, this will be uploaded. So now I have a PNG file with CoCalc in my in my working directory in my folder. All good? Then I will go back to my notebook file, and here I will type the name of my PNG file. Come on. And this is what happens. Okay, so let me have a look at the chat box and see what's happening. So Philip says in the lab. Oh yes, he was trying to answer someone else's question. So where did you upload the PNG at? Just in my working directory. So here. This is where you upload the stuff that you want to upload. So in this case, we wanted to upload our screenshot. So we just come here to this files part and we drag and upload the file that we want. Braden says, now I'm lost. Braden, can you unmute yourself and tell me if you have a question?
I'm confused why we're doing what we're doing.
Okay, so I'm currently trying to teach you how to add an image to your notebook.
So you're just giving another tip. Okay.
Exactly. This is something that you will need to do for your lab assignment, but with a picture of your own.
Okay.
Like a screenshot that you have taken already. Okay. So, Cruz asked, I accidentally cut one of my markdown lines. Is there a way to get it back? I think if you have cut it, there is a way that you can paste it.
I got it.
So,
Braden and Daniel.
okay, cool. Cool. Control Z. Okay, you have already covered that. You can use Time Machine or Undo button. I turned off my computer by accident. Okay, but I think you're back. It's okay. What was the PNG script called? What do you mean, Azile? Okay, let me show you. This is the format that you need. But this name, CoCalc, should be the name of your own file. So if you name it Azile.png, you need to call Azile.png. That name will vary depending on what image you want to read. Esteban, you said you missed how I uploaded a picture. Do not worry about it. So you just come to the file part. And for example, I saved my screenshot in this folder. You just select your screenshot and drag it into the browser, and just like that, it will upload it. Let me know if that works for you or if you have any other issues with it. You're lost with that. Okay. So, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, I'm on mute.
Okay, cool. So, do you see this on your screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Upload right now. On the top left, it shows upload.
Okay, you want to do that way? That is also possible. So, if you click on that, you have to go and find the file that you want to upload. Do you know which folder you saved your screenshot in?
Any screenshot or the specific screenshot that you picture of?
We went into CoCalc.com and got a new screenshot from how it looks. So this, oops, sorry. So we went to this CoCalc.com and got a screenshot of this web page.
I think I took a picture of that.
Okay. Then, if you know where you saved it, you can just go to your upload window, go to the folder that you've saved your screenshot in, and select it. For example, for me, I saved it in this folder, so if I come here, I can just click on it and click open.
Oh, okay.
Let me know if you did it.
I didn't take a screenshot of it. I'm gonna go put it right now.
Okay.
Maybe just open.
Where is my chat box?
I have a question.
Sure.
Okay, so whenever you upload it, then you also have to do a little exclamation mark thing with.
Yes. You see, what happens is a two-step process. In the first one, you are just adding your image to your folder, because that folder is all the cloud's knowledge of your work. If you have things on your hard drive, the cloud has no idea because it's not running on your hard drive. Once you put it there, you go to your notebook and you basically communicate with your notebook and say, okay, at this point, I want you to go to my folder and bring this specific file and run it and show it.
Thank you.
Yep. So,
my picture, I didn't name it. I forgot to name it. So do I delete it and rename it?
If you, one moment. So, are you telling me that in this screen you have a PNG file that is not named?
Yeah, it just says screenshot 2020-08-25.
So, do not worry. You can, one moment. You can just click on this little square here.
Square.
And then come to rename. And give it whatever name you want and rename it.
Okay, so can you spell it? CoCalc.
I have another question. So for the
Go ahead.
exercise 1, we also have to do the little exclamation part.
Actually, what I will want you to do is to embed the picture that you got in exercise 1 for your exercise 4. So I will cover that later.
I'll interrupt just briefly.
So let me see the chat box. What do we have?
Let me interrupt briefly. Keep reading the chat box. The exclamation point is a command to the markdown cell that's telling it, go to the operating system, find the file named CoCalc.png, and put it right here. So you'll see that exclamation point a lot in our later Python notebooks. It's used to send a command to the system shell. And there's a couple other little tricky symbols that are used that. So that's what the exclamation point's doing, is you're actually issuing a command to the markdown file. It's an important concept because it's used throughout all the stuff that we're doing.
What do you want us to upload for exercise 1?
a screen capture of something. I want you to prove to yourself and to us that you can put a picture into your notebook. I don't really care what the picture is, although, you know, keep it clean. If you have pictures of cats, that's fine.
So, now let us move a little further ahead. On exercise 3, we are going to do something very similar to what you saw with the online compiler, the Hello World example, but we are going to do it in our own Jupyter notebook. So I'm going to copy this here and also in the chat box. Where is my chat box? Okay. So I want you to go ahead and no, not this code, it's markdown. What pictures are we supposed to upload? So, as Dr. Cleveland said, we are not being very specific with the picture that you're uploading. For exercise 2, you can just simply get a screenshot of the CoCalc.com and be done with it. The PNG is in the folder, but is not going into the lab. Make sure that you are typing or copying the entire name file. So, for example, for me, I just came here and copied this whole thing so that I do not mess up the capital lowercase situation. And I copied it, and I go back to my notebook. And in my cell, in front of the exclamation point, I'll just paste it.
Run it. Does it turn into a little question mark? When I run mine, it just shows a little question mark.
So it doesn't show you the image?
Oh no, it turns into a little like square with a question mark.
The missing graphic icon.
So, pardon?
I think he's getting the missing graphic icon.
Okay, so if you go to Files, do you see your PNG file in there?
Yes, it just doesn't have.
What
says
is the name of it?
CoCalc. That's it.
CoCalc.png.
No PNG on it.
So that is probably the issue. So did you take a screenshot? Did you save it as a PNG file?
No, I just got it off of my files on my MacBook.
Okay, so there should be an option when you want to save your screenshot twice. So for example, for me, if I use my snipping tool and I take a screenshot of this, I can go to save, and it will give me the option of saving it as a PNG, as a JPEG, as a GIF, or whatever it is. So you want to make sure that you're saving it as a PNG for this exercise. Okay? Let me know when that is done.
Because on the MacBook, all it says is just capture. There's only a button that says capture and options.
What application are you using? Is it a screen capture?
There's a screenshot on the MacBook. There's a little button that I can click, and it says screenshot. I just click it.
So can you tell me what is the format of that image?
It's it doesn't kill me.
There should be something on the properties of that file that tell you what is the format of it. Is it JPEG? Is it PNG or whatever?
It's a PNG image.
That is a PNG file?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I want you to go ahead, go to your files list as I'm showing.
Okay. Number 12.
And just drag and drop it here.
Okay.
Did it work?
Drop.
Okay, so in its name, what do you see?
I just see screenshot 2020-08-25 at 10. Like the same thing.
Does it say .png or no?
So .png now.
Okay, so I saw someone ask for how to rename, so we are going to just do that as an example. I want you to click on your file and click on this little square over here, and then click on rename. Okay? Now just go ahead and give it another simpler or shorter name if you want.
Does the PNG have to be capitalized?
I don't think so, but just let it be. Did you rename it?
Back to the board.
Okay, Dane is saying that his or hers was not working and until they changed it to PNG in capital. So you can just stick with capital.
That might be the problem.
Kyle, do not worry about it. I will go over it at the end. Don't worry about that. Did you manage to rename it?
Yes, they work now.
Okay, and you uploaded it into your notebook?
Yeah.
It worked all fine?
Yeah, PNG has to be capitalized. It's exactly how it is on.
Okay. Okay, do we have any problems with exercise 1 and 2?
For 1, what are we supposed to do again? Are we supposed to like upload?
So for 1, all you had to do was to run one of these online compilers, change the hello world to some other sentence, and get a screen capture. You just had to save it on your device. You didn't have to upload it to your notebook, okay?
Can we just do that just to make it easier? Because I don't know how to...
Make what easier? You want to upload it here?
Yeah, to make it easier on me, because I don't know how to upload anything else anywhere else.
If you want, you can go ahead and do the exact same procedure, but I was going to ask you to do that on exercise 4. So whichever one works better for you. Eventually, I will tell you the entire list of objectives for your lab assignment.
Tell me the entire objective.
Okay. For exercise 2, you had 2 objectives. One of them was to create and set up your CoCalc account, which you've already done, and then an easy exercise on how to add an image to your notebook, which I guess at this point we have all managed to do. Maria is saying, I'm having trouble trying to show image on notebook. Just make sure that the spelling of your name is correct, the name of your file, and the PNG is typed in capital. Okay, so let's move on to exercise 3. In this one, we are going to use the still does not work. Okay. Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, so I have it.
Did you upload it here? When you click on files, do you see your image? Yes or no? Yes, I can hear you, but I think I heard you once. Have you been talking after that? Can you say something? Because I think I can hear the noise your finger makes on the mic, but not something vocal.
How about now? Okay.
Yes, I can.
So I had the capital PNG, and I copy and pasted the CoCalc.png straight into the notebook, but nothing happened.
So, first, I want you to click on this bottom, Files.
Yes.
Can you see a list similar to mine?
Yes.
Do you see your PNG file in this list?
Yes.
And the name is CoCalc.png.
Yes.
Okay, I want you to go ahead, select this and highlight it as I did, then right-click and say copy. Okay? Now, let's go back to our notebook. And you're telling me that you have this command in your cell, right?
Correct.
So just come here and paste whatever you've copied over there.
Yes.
And what happens when you run it?
Mm. Thing disappears, or like the thing.
It disappears? Like it? Does it give you an error, or does it show the picture, or what happens?
No picture appears. The command just disappears.
Is the class of your cell set to Markdown?
Yes.
Hey, I was having the same problem, and I just redid it, and it worked. Like, I didn't do anything different. I just recopy and pasted, and then it worked.
Okay. So you may want to just select this part, delete it, and paste it again.
For whatever reason, it does not like that.
Not working still? So if it doesn't work, do not worry about it, but if you can either stay after the lab today or come to my office hour tomorrow morning and we'll try working on it, okay? Cool. So now that we want to run the hello world example, I want another cell that is not in the Markdown class. So I'm going to click on the little plus button over there, and in my new cell, I want it to be set as code. Okay? So I will go ahead and type print and whatever sentence that I want to say, which is hello world. And if I run it, right below, it will show me the output of that line of code. It's pretty clear, right? It's like a very, very famous, widely used example for programming languages all over the world. Yes, Andrew, uploading HTML files to Blackboard will have that issue. That's why we recommend going with a PDF. I will talk about that later. So this is if you want to just print something that you define. It can be hello world or anything else. So on the next cell, which I want it to be a markdown, I'm going to ask you to do pretty much the same thing you did with the online compiler. I have added that to the chat box so you can use that in your new cell. So what we want to do, we want the same function print, but we want a different sentence. So let's set it up as code. We'll go with print, open parentheses, quotation marks, and this is the sentence that we're gonna use. We're gonna build a dog park, the best one ever, and the cats are gonna pay for it. So, if I run it, exactly the same thing that happened to Hello World is going to happen here. The output of that line of code will be the sentence that you see right below it. So, Ben says I'm having the same error where it says kernel killed. What do you mean by same error? Did someone else get an error? Oh, Max says kernel killed when that is typed. That is weird. Just try...
Go ahead and show how to restart a kernel.
So, you can just come here and check if your kernel is still on a Python 3 system-wide. But if you're having an issue with that, one moment, you can come to kernel and click on restart kernel. And just let me know if that helped with your issue. Okay, Max says that he restarted the entire web browser and it works now. Reloaded the page. Okay. So, about changing the sentence and the print function. Are we all good? Do you have any questions about what is happening here?
Oh, really well. I'm paying thousands of dollars to watch Khan Academy.
Okay, so that will be what is expected of you for exercise 3. The hello world example and how we changed it. For, okay, I'm having trouble with the dog bark phrase. Maria, can you unmute yourself?
You can pick a different phrase if you want.
All right, well, so I typed it out and it's saying there's an error, but I can't find the error. Like I typed.
Okay, well, let us check a few things. Do you have open parentheses, close parentheses on both ends?
That might be what it is.
What's the message in the error? Because the last line of the error, they're called exceptions, of the exception message is actually sometimes really useful.
Okay.
It's just something like literal does not exist, variable undefined, wording like that. And that's usually the clue to what you did wrong as far as the computer is concerned.
I think I got it.
Is it working now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's go to another cell. Again, a markdown. And I'm going to give you the text for that. You can paste it in your markdown cell. I'm going to make mine look a little better. Okay, exercise 4 is asking you to upload a PNG file into your notebook. We already covered that as an example in exercise 2. This is where you will upload your own screenshot, the one that you took from exercise 1. You remember? The one with the online compiler?
We got 6 minutes. Farang, can you put that cell back into edit mode? Because I want to point something out.
Sure.
So look at the 1, 2, 3 line. It says, and you insert them using $$, \, text, TTT, curly bracket open, and then the rest of it. The $$ symbol is a markdown language symbol that says interpret what's between me as latex. Maybe none of you know what latex is, so don't worry about it. If you ever see that in any stuff we provide rendered that way, comment it out if it's a problem, because it depends on whether it's getting converted or not. The $signs and the text TT curly bracket are not part of the command to make the image. They're part of a command to make it typeset correctly. So when he goes ahead and runs the markdown cell, it gives the correct appearance. Well, sort of correct. The second one's all messed up. And that's because it doesn't have the text TT curly brackets. That's all I want to interrupt. We got 5 minutes left, and then we'll have to end the lab because I have another class at 11 and I got to host it.
So just to wrap it up, the thing that you will need to upload is your notebook, the one that you're currently working on, with your own sentences, with your own screen captures, everything, exported as a PDF. So once you're done with them, you have set them up and everything is running well, you can just come to File. You can go to PDF or PDF via LaTeX. You need to give it a while to be rendered. Okay, running failed with one error. Let me give it another try. While that is working, let me see in the chat box. I had to do PDF via LaTeX because I was getting that error. Yes, we can go with PDF via LaTeX. For exercise 4, all we do is upload that we are going to build a doc park under the text we copied and then turn it in, correct? You can either you can upload the screenshot that you took for exercise 1, which was from the online compiler, because your sentence of we are going to build a doc park is already in exercise 3, and we know that you've done that. Would be able to do the screen capture before the next class. I think it's yeah, you can submit it by Sunday or Monday. So as long as you meet the deadline, that will be fine. Submit all exercises in a single file. That is what Dr. Cleveland pointed out. Yes, we want one PDF submitted of the entire notebook. Do we have to turn this in Lab 0 in? That will be, yes, your
I mistakenly have Lab 0 and Lab 1 are the same thing. I was having counting issues, but they should be the same labs. So it's depending on where you're getting the source. What do we do to turn it in, Cade? What you do to turn it in is you prepare the PDF file, you go to your Blackboard account, and you select Lesson 1, Laboratory, and inside it there's a assignment icon, and when you click on that, it gives you the ability to upload the lab, or upload your file. When I save to the PDF, it's giving me an error.
So when you get this PDF file, you can just go ahead and save it on your hard drive and then upload it on Blackboard from there. You can print it as a PDF, or you can just save it on. Let me get
I think
to
what
my
he
folder.
says is correct. You're going to want to move it from CoCalc to your local computer, then from your local computer to Blackboard. In theory, you should be able to go straight across, but that usually fails. So bring it to your local computer. For one thing, it gives you a copy, so that if something goes wrong, we can run down the copy.
Yes, and just make sure that what you save on your hard drive looks good to you, everything is in the right place, and then go ahead and upload it to Blackboard. So just after we pasted the exercise 4 text, we can just turn it in. Yes, just make sure that you have done everything as we follow. So for exercise 1, you have a screen capture that you will show in exercise 4. In exercise 2, you have a screen capture of the CoCalc website that you captured yourself. And for exercise 3, you have basically ran the hello world print function and you changed it to another sentence similar to what we used. That will be what we are looking for in your first lab assignment. Shoot if you have any questions. Otherwise, just take care and be safe. We will see you on Thursday.
How do we get the CoCalc lab into like that on our desktop?
Okay, so when you export your notebook by PDF via LaTeX, you will see something like this. It will give you a link after, like, for me, it took 5 or 10 seconds, something like that. Then it will give you a link with the name of your notebook.pdf. When you click on that, it will open this notebook in a browser for you. This is not where you stop because you still have not saved it on your hard drive. When you see it, you can just go ahead and save it on wherever you want on your own computer, and that is the file that you will want to submit to Blackboard.
Okay, so we're only supposed to have only 2 pictures, right?
Yes.
And exercise 4, which exercise 4 is for exercise 1 as well.
Yes, actually, exercise 2 and 4 will have screenshots. Exercise 3 will only have a sentence of your choice. Do I need to email you or Farhang if it's still not working? You can either come to my virtual office hours or email me with your questions. Yes.
Is this conversation is recorded and available later to watch?
Yes, Dr. Cleveland has been recording it, and as soon as it is rendered, he will upload it so that you can have access to it.
Thank you.
Yeah, there'll be some parts edited out because I was doing some emails, and you don't need to see those. But we're talking seconds will get edited out. It shouldn't matter. I also sent a link in the chat to another web server where it has a completely worked solution that will help you if you're having troubles. Don't download and try to upload that file. Number 1, you'll lose the graphics. Number 2, we'll know, and that would constitute the unethical behavior. But it's a way to help you get the lab done yourself. So I'm going to disconnect the meeting. This was good for us because we get an idea how long it takes to get things accomplished. And don't feel at all upset if you're a little lost. I'm not going to say that's normal. We had no idea how it would go with 90 plus people doing a completely electronic laboratory. So now we have a good feel. We can modify the next lab to better fit the time. And Cody, you need to be sure that you get to CoCalc after we all disconnect. I think it'll work better for you once there's not 100 plus people on it at once. And we will see you on Thursday. You have anything left to add, Farhang?
No, I just saw that someone asked how they can save their notebooks as PDFs. You can just go to File, go to PDF via LaTeX, and that will export your notebook to a PDF. Again, if you have any questions or if you feel lost at part of this, email me and I will try to reply as soon as possible. Do not worry. This is a new experience for all of us, and we will get it done in the best way possible. Don't worry.
If anything's wrong for any reason, will we be consulted about it? Like, hey, F1, you did this wrong. Can you please fix it? Or like, are we just gonna receive like a bad grade? I'm not saying anything's gonna be wrong, but in the case something's wrong, is there gonna be some leniency because we just started doing this online as well?
Honestly, I didn't understand your question. So what are you asking?
The question was, how's this lab going to be graded? There's pretty much a completion grade. So there's no way of doing it wrong except to not upload anything. Does that answer your question?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. I've got to disconnect the meeting. So goodbye, everybody. We'll see you on Thursday. And thank you for your patience and attention. And have a good afternoon. Have a good Wednesday. And be safe. Wear your mask if you're in a face-to-face class. So thank you very much. Goodbye.
Take care. Be safe.
Thank you.